Om. 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 Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Deva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trilokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhushka Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vedya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Jai Guru. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So before we plunge into the scripture tonight, because we have Dario and Anya who are new to the group and have come from another tradition, I want to give a little background stuff, because many of the tantric traditions, their sacred texts are tantras, not the Vedas. So self-realization is the same for every woman or man of knowledge, but how you get there may vary. So just so we have an understanding of what's going on here, this tradition, Advaita Vedanta, is also called Jnana Yoga. It is a valid path. It is not the same as being a pundit. A pundit is a scholar. So a college professor, you can study various redactions of the scriptures and have a great knowledge of them academically, but that's not the same. The Advaita Vedanta is the philosophy and the practice that's implied in the Upanishads, which are the concluding portions of the Vedas. Is that clear? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a praman. It is a valid means of knowledge. Of the four great branches of yogas, there's karma yoga, the path of action, raja yoga, which is actually the path of psychic development, bhakti yoga, the path of intense devotion, jnana yoga, the path of profound insight and wisdom. We are that fourth. And it is the most austere, but the most direct. It is not available to a lot of people because the price tag is high. We'll get into what that is. So let's look at what the philosophical frame is. And if it's different than what your tantric practices have taught, let me know and we'll see if we can find some common ground. So the easiest way to articulate the principal ideas is with what we call the four Mahavakyas. Vach means to speak, to utter, to say. So Mahavakya is a great saying, a profound utterance. And each one of these four is taken from each one of the Vedas. And they, in very terse language, put out the whole philosophy. The first, Prajnanam Brahma. Brahman is the word that our tradition uses for ultimate reality, the ground of being, God. And it says, God, Brahman is consciousness. We may have been in a practice, either as children or in our tradition, of thinking of the God as a form, a murti, Lord Shiva, Lord Krishna, Jesus, Durga. Those are the various masks the infinite wears, so that you and I can approach the infinite because we're in a state of feeling like a solid individual. I'm a person and I have a relationship with the infinite. But what the Upanishads start off with is that is only a partial understanding. A thunder, prajnanam Brahma. Brahman is consciousness. It has no form. Well, how do I reach it? Do I have to, out there in the sky somewhere? So the second Mahavakya is, I am Atma, Brahma. This self is Brahman. Oh, okay. I'm going to meditate and I'm going to wait till I reach the self or attain the Paramatman, the supreme self. I, Jim, am going to Atman. And then the third Mahavakya says, no, 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 no. Tatvam asi. You are in that. The guru at this point usually brings a book or a glass or a phone. Who sees the phone? Who sees it? Me. Yeah, that's yourself. You don't get another self. My problem is that not that I have a crummy old self and I need to get a new one or I need to reach the deity. My problem is a profound hypnotism, misunderstanding of who and what I really am. And if you think, if the self is beginningless and changeless and endless, if I could become it, I could lose it. So it's not a problem of being. It's a problem of I have deep spiritual ignorance, which makes me think and feel that I'm a person. Most specifically, I think I'm the body, or the body plus the personality. Now, does this differ from the studies you've done? Yes, no?
No. No.
Okay. This is just very foundational here. Now, at the moment of realization, after intense practice, the exclamation of the yogi is not, "Ah, I know Brahman. I reached Brahman." It's Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. So, understanding that my problem is deep, deep spiritual ignorance. The classic term we get in the Vedic literature is Maya. Is that a word that pops up in your tradition? And how is it defined? Illusion. Yes. It's the power of the infinite by which all this comes about. And it is inherently delusory, such that the beings that are in the Jagat, the creation, they do not know who they are. Now, this is an important point, and you and I were talking about Shankara. He thunders on this. The antidote to ignorance is not action. Let me give you an example. I'm thinking of a song lyric. How many jumping jacks do you have to do to know what song lyric I'm thinking of? How many times must you run around the block? How many mantras must you chant? Ask me what the song lyric is.
What's the song lyric?
Row, row, row your boat. Now you know. How did you find out?
I asked.
Vicharena, by means of investigation. So, what do we do? First, there are all sorts of preparatory practices which have as their goal chitta shuddhi, the purification of the mind. And that includes singing the Lord's praises, doing ritual practices, asana, pranayama, all these various things. What is their purpose? To attain chitta shuddhi, a sattvic mind. Because atma vichara, investigation into the self, is only possible in a very subtle mind.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Would silent meditation fall under the preparatory practices category in terms of Advaita Vedanta?
Would silent meditation?
Silent meditation, like what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But the important thing is find out who I is. Find out who I is. Because as long as you think you're a person, you're still deluded. The example I like to use, if you go to Las Vegas and you see a stage show and there's a hypnotist, and the guy on the stage says, Puneet, come on up. You ever been hypnotized? No. See what happens. Puts him in the chair, puts him in a trance, says, when I say the word wonderful, you're going to think you're a chicken. And then when I finally clap my hands 3 times, you'll come out of the hypnotic trance. And he counts down from 10. Puneet's just sitting there. How do you feel? Oh, fine. Do you think you were hypnotized? Nah. Well, most people feel relaxed and frequently they feel wonderful. Puneet stands up and he starts running around the stage. Quack, 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 quack. Everybody's laughing. Soundarya goes, oh my God, I married a chicken. Is he a chicken? Is he? Look at him. Is he a chicken? He's not a chicken. Even if he thinks he's a chicken. Then the hypnotist claps his hands 3 times. He comes out of his trance. God, that was weird. I was convinced I was a chicken. Such is the power of Maya. You already are Brahman. But Maya is like deep hypnotism, or the other great image that the scriptures use, like a dream. I'm dreaming I'm having all this trouble. And to the dreamer, I've got to get rid of the sharks that are swimming in my swimming pool. But the solution is to wake up. How do we do it? Viveka, Vairagya are the 2 main practices that we use. Viveka means discrimination. So we stand back into the viewpoint of the witness. I am not the body. I'm the knower of the body. I am not prana. I'm the knower of the prana. I'm not the feelings. I'm the knower of the feeling. I'm not the thoughts. I'm the knower of the thoughts. I'm not even the ego sense when it arises. I see it rise and fall, thicken and thin. Who am I? In a very quiet mind, with the attentive faculty turned within, look, find out who you are. And you see, there's no person there. There's Chidakash, the space of pure awareness. How do you know you are you? You do not see, hear, taste, touch, smell yourself. You don't emote yourself. You don't think yourself. Yet you know you are. How do you know it? I don't know, I just know it. That's right. You are Swayambhu, self-evident. Swayam Jyoti, self-effulgent, self-luminous. You need no other agent to verify your existence. And all of my suffering is caused by that non-apprehension of the self. And then the subsequent hypnotism. You may not think I'm a chicken, but I may think I'm a person. Jiva Bhavana, we call it in our tradition. That's an illusion. So this has to be a constant practice. And it's coupled with vairagya. Vairagya is detachment. So it's that desire. I'm not supposed to have desires. This is a desire that gets rid of desires. The desire to give up attachment to all experiences gained through the senses. And the desire to let go of any personal sense of self, starting from the body up to and including Brahma, the creator, because Shankara was aware of those tantric traditions where you meditate on a form and eventually you identify with the form. Do you have practices like that in your tradition? Yeah. Here, Shankara says, in the end, they all have to go.
That's true. I mean, they say that too.
Yeah.
in Tantra.
So in the end, who are you? What is your essential nature? Go there, look. Now, here in class, this methodology is called a Shabda Praman. It is a means of knowledge through sound, through words. It's not that I'm chanting mantras at you. It's not like that. What we do is we endeavor to turn your attentive faculty back on its source, yourself. And then we tell you what you're experiencing while you're experiencing it. And if we work it right, something called pratyabhinyanam happens. Recognition. You go, oh my gosh, there's nothing there. Now, the second thing we work on is what is the source of happiness? This goes back to what we were talking about last time when we talked about, you know, is the goal to just be nihilistic and everything tastes like ashes? No. When I give up the world, but it's also when I give up all personal sense of self. The mind comes home. And words fail us. We get Atmaramana. That's one of Shankara's. We revel in the sound. I'm fond of Vidyaranya's term, Brahmananda Rasaswad, tasting the juice of the bliss of Brahman. I come to see that the world is not bad, it's just completely empty. But yourself is real. And Shankara has a very famous hymn called Nirvana Shaktam. And the refrain goes, Chidananda Rupaham, Shivoham, Shivoham. My nature, my form, Buddha, is bliss consciousness. Shivoham, Shivo. Now, if I can't hold on to that, if the ignorance comes back and all of a sudden I'm a person again, why? And that's because of vasana. Is this a term that's used in your tradition?
Not so much.
They use sanskara,
Samskara is kleshas.
klesha. Yeah. Klesha means defilement, sanskara, or in the Buddhist tradition, sankara. I think that's what Goenka calls it, right?
Yeah, it's in body.
Yeah. But we use the term vasana, which is a deep impression that's left in the unconscious because of my previous egoistic actions, all caught up with I-ness and minus, having the flavor of pleasure and suffering and identification of self with this or that. And that's the essence of my ignorance. So Shankara will say, even after realization of the truth, meaning I've had some deep insights into this no thingness of myself, there exists a strong impression that one is the doer and the experiencer, which is the cause for rebirth. What that deeper meaning of that is, I get re-identified. I think I'm a person again. And he says it needs to be conscientiously rooted out, steady and continuous identification with the self. And don't fuck around. You got to be really attentive and don't get all caught up in lazy mind. It's a discipline. And then he says in the end of that verse, it's the annihilation of the vasanas here and now. That's considered liberation by the wise.
So vasana is like a movement of the mind, kind of.
The vasana, you can't see it directly. Pure
But it's
vasana is like deep sleep.
Okay, so
But
like
what it causes is this low level discontent, agitation, and then it will sprout into a desire. What I need is pizza. What I need is sex. What I need is to go mountain climbing. What I need is to do this, that, or the other thing. And it's rooted in the belief that's what's going to give me release from the depression, the low level discontent, the agitation, the irritation. That's vasana pressure. How do I know that my mind is under the influence of vasana? Because I think I'm a person. It's that simple. Does that make sense?
yeah.
So start. And so the practice as we're moving through the day, as this extroversion of the mind arises, ooh, I want to, you bring it back, tune up the mind. Or the aversion, bring it back. No thought of self is real when the mind tries to posit a Jim or an Anya. Nope. Ciao. Get out. Koham, who am I? Oh, yes. Satchidananda Rupa. My form is existence, consciousness, and bliss. Even if I don't feel it, I believe, I have faith in the scripture. This is called jnana abhyasa, the practice of knowledge. And when things come up that poke at our ego, let it pass through. Let it pass. This is real sannyas. It has nothing to do with taking up the orange robes and getting a 5-syllable unpronounceable name. And all of the Vedantic scriptures and the Prakarana works, Shankara, things like that, these Gitas, all of them are in attempts to help us remove this jiva bhavana, this personal sense of self, this deeply rooted belief that the phenomenal world is inherently joy-giving or misery-producing. And if we're serious about it, if you have mumukshutva, the burning desire for freedom, it's a full-time job while you go to work, while you have your relationships, while you're doing stuff around the house, constantly living in that viewpoint of Sakshibha, the viewpoint of the witness, watching stuff come up and discriminate. Not so. And where we frequently get identified is on the positive side. Oh, Dario, you're so wonderful, handsome, and smart. And what does the mind do? Oh, really? Oh, you finally noticed. Look. Making sense?
No, I have no idea what you're talking
Then I not say if, but when. You asshole. How could you have done that? You pig. You're the worthless piece of shit. It's too late. By that point, I'm already identified. So whatever comes at us, and people say or do things, any idea that is about a personal sense of self, renounce it. This is jnana abhyasa. This is the practice that's implied in the scriptures. So it's not just picking up an Upanishad and studying it as if you were reading, Thomas Aquinas or something like that. Is this helpful? Say yes, no.
I mean, it's not new,
Oh,
but of course it's helpful.
but I don't know your tradition.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for
I just want to, this is what we're doing here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it and I love it. Of course, I'm going to practice Tantra and that's going to be my path.
I have implicit trust
Good.
in your intuition.
I do want to study the Advaita Vedanta and I do want to meditate with you guys.
Yeah. I would never ask you to give it up.
And there's a lot of overlap. So it feels like that's gonna be
Well,
okay,
and
right?
those kinds of practices are very powerful and effective for clearing out the kleshas.
Yeah, I mean, a lot
That's
of it,
their intent.
a lot of it too. I mean, I just want to say that, it does lead to self-realization in a similar way, and not the way a lot of the attachment towards personhood and the like clear discrimination of, you know, Maya, um, clearing away of illusion, but through probably a different means, right? Um,
Follow your own intuition. That is my advice. You will know where you're led. But the other piece of that is do not have false loyalties. Go where you're being spiritually fed. That doesn't mean to badmouth other teachers. I never do that. Every path is valid. And I encourage people to practice in the tradition where they're finding value. Don't have romantic attachment. Be ruthless.
and I mean, I do appreciate the long explanation, because it also seems like we're trying to get into an advanced text and you want to give a very clear foundation of what we're working with, so we don't spiritually bypass and misunderstand what's in this book. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, the main thing that I have concerned about is Anya and I had a conversation about, you know, is it a God out there? And, worshiping the God. And that, from the viewpoint of Advaita Vedanta, is certainly a valid practice, but it needs to then mature into Atma Vichara, inquiry into your own self nature. And I didn't want, especially you, to feel like I was in any way discounting your practice, because I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when he wants to say something, but
We are here. We are
Good.
here, right?
All right.
I think that says something.
Yeah.
So, and thank you for taking time, and I know everyone else is on the different page, so it's a thank you.
Well, and this is a good review for everybody. Were you lost?
No, that was right.
you're like, I'm past this shit already, right? You're like,
The one of the elements of Maya is it's incredibly powerful. And essentially, our ignorance got there through repetition and habit. And sometimes we think we've got clear experience and understanding, and then you have road rage, or something, you get triggered. And then you see, oh, I guess I still have work to do. Yeah. Sure, none of you would ever have that trouble. All right. Sorry to take all that time. No, I'm not sorry at all. All right. Where are we? What verse are we on?
Chapter 17, verse number 6.
Do you have a page number?
No, I don't.
Page 268. Should I start?
Please.
Dharma artha kama moksheshu jivite marane tatha kasyapyudara chittasya heyopade yatta nahi. Rare is the broad-minded person who has neither attraction for nor aversion to piety, worldly prosperity, desire, fulfillment, and liberation, as well as any attraction for life or aversion to death.
Yes. So again, what is the purpose of this text? So we sublimate all our worldly desires into the desire for liberation, moksha. Shankara will use the example of the kataka nut powder. So, especially in South India, Shankara was a Malayali from Kerala. When the monsoons come, it brings silt down the rivers and into the tanks where people go down to get water. They'll dip the jars into the water and there's silt suspended in it. So what they do is they grind up the kataka nut into a powder. I think in modern day India, they use alum. Does the same thing. They put that in the jar and it does something with surface tension, but it causes all the silt to sink to the bottom. Then they can decant the jar and it's pure drinking water. Modern day image of this is the washing machine. So when you go wash your clothes, what I do, first I put in my Tide Pod. Do you guys do something similar?
Yep.
Well, if your clothes are dirty, why are you adding more dirt? Isn't detergent more dirt?
How is it more dirt?
Well, I've got dirt on the clothes, so I put something else in there as well. What does the detergent do?
It's cleaning,
It
purifying.
removes the dirt. It actually makes the water wetter, is what it really does. And in the end, then what happens at the end of the cycle? After you go put it in and it fills up and it goes,
Rinse.
Yeah.
yes, rinse cycle. So all the dirt and the detergent get rinsed away. So our practices are spiritual detergent because most of us need a good brainwashing. So here he's going to talk about the subtle detergents or kataka nut powder. So he gives us a list. Would you help us out, please? First
Who
was
has
piety, I think.
who has neither attraction for nor aversion to piety.
Piety. This is living a moral life. Now, many of us get stuck in the idea that the goal is to deify the ego. I want to make the person a perfect person. So I look at the moral teaching. Now, for God's sake, do good, be good, just out of compassion for the rest of us. But I have news for you. How can you take something that's inherently finite, the body, mind, intellect, and make that perfect? So if we're identified with perfectionism, with piety, of being good, it's like trying to count to the highest number. In the end, that's not the goal. It is important to develop some purity of mind, but it's only a tool. So the person of steady wisdom is no longer concerned with stupid mind states, positive ones or negative ones. Just like I have no concern for my shadow. You wake up this morning and the mind is it just is no big deal. Will be useful. Likewise, you have a meditation and you're super blissful. Don't worry, it'll pass. So the Sthita Prajna, the person of steady wisdom, is no longer concerned with being a goody-goody. Again, this is an advanced text. In the beginning, don't be a jerk. Practice ahimsa, non-injury, satyam, truthfulness, saucham, cleanliness, orderliness, satyam, straightforwardness, etc. All these yamas and niyamas. But that is to acquire mind, the wonder sword of knowledge, sharpens it. So the next idea after piety?
Worldly prosperity.
Yes. So you fulfill your role in life. If you're not a trust fund kid or you don't marry rich, you probably have to have a job in this culture. You may become a sannyasi, that may be your swadharma, but it's not very common in the West, and we don't have the cultural context to even take care of our holy people. All of the authors of the Upanishads, what we call our rishis, were householders. So action in the world is not antithetical to knowledge. The problem is attachment. There's nothing wrong with having a 401k. Nobody thinks about money more than the poor. It's just irrelevant to the process. But if you have the desire, the need to try to be secure financially, and you think that's real, believe me. The issue is the fear of financial insecurity. And no amount of zeros after your income or your bank account will free you from fear. That only comes from Ishvara Pranidhana, trustful surrender to God. Next idea.
Desire fulfillment.
Desire for fulfillment or fulfilling of desires.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. So the yogi understands that if I'm unhappy, it's not because I don't have what I want. I'm unhappy because I'm stuck wanting. It's the wanting itself that is the dukkha, that is the pain. So the yogi begins to live life in a way where we let go of our various desires. And the next one, the last one, I think was even from
Liberation.
Moksha.
Liberation, yeah.
So to try to be a realized person is like trying to attend your own funeral. Here's the self, here's the ego. Can't help it in being, oh, I want to be realized, moksha, I want to get there, I'm going to do all these practices. And what it thinks is, I'm getting close, I'm there, I am a Mahatma. That's not what happens. You give up even being concerned about it. Why? When I thin out my mind and introvert the attentive faculty, does the self get realized? Is the self Atma? Is the self a guru? Only in the cosmic sense. So we quit being concerned about it. Now, again, this is a teaching for those who have no doubts about their essential nature. It does not mean that if you think you're a person, moksha is an illusion, go smoke some dope. That's just rationalization. Any thoughts on this? The Buddhists have a saying, if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. What does that mean? Don't try to be an enlightened person. Remember, you are Brahman. Any thoughts on this? Next verse.
Vanchana Vishwa Vilaye Na Dveshtasya ch Sthitatav Yatha Jivikaya Tasmat Dhanya Aste Yatha Sukham. The man of wisdom does not feel any longing for the dissolution of the universe or any aversion towards its existence. He, the Blessed One, therefore lives happily in whatever substance turns up as his lot unasked.
Yes. So we can get a subtle aversion. Oh, I don't have any more desires for this world, but oh, I really want moksha so I don't have to deal with this world of woe. Oh, it's so bothersome being in the body. I can't wait till I get enlightened and I don't have to come back again. Not an uncommon state. And what the shloka is saying is that has to be smashed too. So you have to live with death on one shoulder. What if the angel of death shows up this evening and says, tonight your life is required of you? Out you go. So we live with the possibility that we could die any day. Clean up your relationships. Don't have regrets. Be willing to let go of it all. But then you have to take on the meditation. What if I'm going to be in the body? Maybe not this body, but a body for the rest of eternity. Will I live? Well, you quit giving a rat's ass about it all. So what this does, it helps us deal with that subtle aversion that the universe is appearing, that the body, mind, intellect is running around. Have no relationship to. Be willing for it all to end today. Be willing for it all to remain for the rest of eternity. Sarvamaya, Sarvamananda. It's all Maya. It's all bliss. Any thoughts on this? What?
That's heavy shit, man.
What?
That's heavy. That's heavy. That was really heavy.
Was it?
Oh God, yeah. Oh my God.
Why was it heavy?
I don't know. I was. Oh shit. That's nothing. I'm good.
No, but I think
don't
you
know.
identified with that subtle aversion. Yeah.
No, I was tuning into. I was tuning into you, Jim. That was really heavy. Jesus Christ.
That's not how this is.
It was not for. Oh God.
No big deal. No big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I was just feeling, yeah. Good.
All right, next verse.
कृतार्थोनेन ज्ञानेत्य एवं गलितधीकृति पश्यन् शृण्वन् स्पृशन् जिघ्रन् अश्नन् आस्ते यथा सुखम्. Being fulfilled by this wisdom of the self, and with his mind absorbed and contented in the self, the wise man lives happily, seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, and eating.
Yes. So he's the Master Jesus said it in such beautiful language. My kingdom is not of this world. It doesn't mean you go to some place called heaven. It means right here, right now. I am in the world, but not of it. Or Gita says in the second chapter, what is day to the yogi is night to other people. I've got a different playground. And what is day to other people, grunting and sweating under a weary life, as Hamlet says. The Stitha Prajna, the person of steady wisdom, is asleep to it. They just, I'm investing in this and I'm going to go ski trip to Switzerland next year, and all people are going to see my fancy bow tie and my tuxedo, and we'll have box seats at the opera, where we're like impressing and all that kind of stuff. For the Stita Prajna, it's meaningless. She sees it, and it never touches her. So sometimes she moves through the world like a ghost. It's as if people can't even see her. Other times she's like a mountain of stillness. So present, everybody sees. Other times she's just like an ordinary person going to the market and buying vegetables. But inside, Shunyata. And feeling. Next one.
Shunya drishtir pritha cheshta vikalanendriyani cha nasprihana viviktarva shina sansara sagare. There is no attachment or aversion for one in whom the ocean of the world has dried up. His gaze becomes vacant, his body actions are purposeless, and his senses inoperative.
Yes. So again, Shankara has this wonderful image of the dead leaf versus the brown colored moth. So the leaf is dead, but the wind blows it around. It seems like it's alive and flying. Then you have the brown moth, and it is fluttering its wings. It's doing stuff, going places, accomplishing stuff. And you can barely tell the difference. So the Stita Prajna is like the leaf, dead to the world, blown about. One of my favorite images is like the ball bearing in God's pinball machine. The Lord goes, and this body, mind, intellect goes kaplunk, 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 kaplunk. No plan, just the Lord's action. And when that particular shtick is over, clang, and you do it some more. And at some point you go into the gutter and it's all over. Body drops off. But there's no virtue in restraining from action and no virtue in acting. Put the robot on automatic pilot. And the paradox is then it can be used by the infinite. Next verse.
Na jagrati na nidrati nonmilati na milati aho paradasha kvapi vartate mukta chetasah. The man of wisdom neither keeps awake nor sleeps. He neither opens nor closes his eyes. Oh, the liberated soul anywhere enjoys the supreme state of consciousness.
Yes. So we have to make sure that we're not dependent on being interior for our bliss. Again, this is another time when people think they've got it all together, but it's only partial. Oh, when I'm inside and I'm in meditation and my mind ends, I'm clear, I am Brahman. And then I open my mind and, oh, it's too messy out there. Leave me alone. I want to get back into meditation. Oh, now you are far away from perfection. The next project is seeing the self in and through all the objects and people of the world. How? Dial down the mind's reactivity to it. And there's no inside, no outside. Sarvamaya, Sarvamana, that's all Maya, but it's all bliss. Next verse.
Sarvatra drishyate swastha, sarvatra vimalashayaha, samasta vasana mukto, mukta sarvatra rajate. The liberated one is found everywhere abiding in the self and is undefiled by desires under all conditions. Freed from all vasanas, he revels.
So now here's a very subtle point. In the end, desire is not an impediment to realization. As long as there's no attachment to the outcome, and as long as you're clear about who you are, a desire arises, and in the end, you can't tell whether it's your desire or other people's that you're tuning into. It doesn't matter. But you can tell the difference between an insistence and a preference. It's just another thought. There's no virtue in necessarily suppressing them in the end. Then we have in the literature examples of great men of wisdom like King Janaka. The king took care of his hundreds of wives. What a job. Fought wars, acquired wealth, did all the things that kings were supposed to do, but a man of the highest wisdom. And we have others, like my grandfather guru, Swami Chinmayananda's guru, Swami Tapovana, would only work with 1, 2, or 3 students at a time. Incredibly austere. Lived in a little mud hut about half the size of my dining room up in Uttarkashi. And he would kind of travel between Uttarkashi and Gangotri, further up the Ganges. He might come down to Rishikesh in the winter. Wouldn't go below Rishikesh. Loved to just wander in the Himalayas in nature and solitude. But for example, Nisargadatta Maharaj, who was not a Brahmin, he was of a lower caste. His father had been a domestic servant and then decided to try to be a farmer. And Nisargadatta Maharaj came to Mumbai and married, had kids, ran a cigarette store, a beedi store, lived in an apartment above it. And at one point in his sadhana, he left them all to go up to the Himalayas. And then after a while, he came back. There's no self in Mumbai. Of course there is. It's everywhere. So our prarabdha karma will place us where we're supposed to be. And the mark of the person of steady wisdom is they don't really give a flying F. Doesn't matter. If you need to have some motivating idea, try to be useful. Serve the society. Do good, be good. Be part of the solution of the world, not part of the problem. But even that's only a surface idea. Any thoughts on this? Next one. Oops, nope, we got to quit. What verse are we on for next week?
Verse 12.
Verse 12. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Oh.